Well, it's time for interleague baseball. That means it's time for the Ohio Cup. Corey Kluber and his Cleveland Indians are hosting the Cincinnati Reds in the first of 6 games between these two teams. The Reds hope Johnny Cueto can get back on the beam, and Todd Frazier continue with his power surge. It's the battle for the Ohio Cup next on Fox Sports Ohio. Live from Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio, where the sun is shining brightly. It's a little chilly tonight, but we're ready to play baseball. The Cleveland Indians hosting the Cincinnati Reds in interleague play on Fox Sports Ohio. Hi, hello, and welcome to Cleveland, everyone. Along with the crafty left-hander Chris Welch and Jim Day, I'm George Grant. Reds and the Indians have been pretty much even, Steven. Only one game separates these two teams, 45-44, and the Indians have that one-game edge in all of interleague play. These are two teams, Chris, this year in 2015 that have started off in a similar fashion.
Well, very similar, George. They started off in Goodyear, Arizona. That's what they really got in common. But even if you take that aside and you start looking at the regular season, you see that they find themselves in two divisions that are very tough. They've got very similar records. Their one team is going in an opposite direction of the other. The Indians have put together a 3-game winning streak, but the runs per game are very close to each other. The team earned run average is very close to each other. And the other common theme is that each of these managers is desperate for a win.
You're not kidding. And they also are common themes in that when they pitch well, they win. For the Indians, they've pitched well of late. For the Reds, Mike Leake has been pretty solid except for his last start.
Well, his last start, you can throw that out the window because everybody's going to have a bad game. It was really made even worse by him going back out there for one extra inning where they gave up a home run and really added up that 9 earned runs in 5 innings. But Mike Leake's got to go out tonight, and he's got to try to be very aggressive out there. Just go right after the Indians hitters. Don't nibble around the corners. You go right after him, use your good stuff. Mike Leake will be just fine.
And you got to stop the big guy. Who's the big guy? Of late, it's been Jason Kipnis. Boy, a horrible April, but what a May, Chris.
You know, he's never really done much against the Reds in all the games he's played against the Reds, but man, oh man, in the month of May, nearly a .450 hitter. He's the only MLB player in entire baseball that has hit over 400 in May, and here we are at the very last days of May. So Jason Kipnis is hot. It's always good to know who those hot hitters are because those are the guys that you know where they are in the on-deck circle. You're going to pitch to the guys ahead of Kipnis. Of course, he's at the top of the lineup, but you got to make sure you don't get him in a situation where he can hurt you.
All right, quick question for you. Who's at the top of the lineup for the Cincinnati Reds? Jim Day will have that answer coming up next. Change at the top. The man with the smiling eyes takes over the leadoff spot.
Sports Ohio is brought to you by Cincinnati USA Regional Tourism Network. Stay close to CincinnatiUSA.com. By Chevy. Check out our award-winning lineup only at your Tri-State Chevy dealer. And by Skyline Chili. Feeling good? It's Skyline time. I'm Jim Day on the field. Brian Price would love to have a set batting order. In fact, any manager would. But when you're struggling offensively, you search for answers, and Price continues to search for people at the top of the lineup to set the table. And now Brandon Phillips will lead off tonight for Cincinnati. Tried Cozart in that spot. He hit a bit of a lull. With Billy Hamilton batting down, Phillips is the logical choice. And in May, his .368 average leads the team. This year, for whatever reason, not a lot of extra base hits, unlike what you just saw there, but a lot of singles. Price feels like Brandon perhaps could be that table setter. And when you check out his numbers against his former team, the Cleveland Indians, boy, does he love to play against the former team. He's our T-Mobile game changer. Career versus the Indians, a .350 average. It's his highest average versus any team, minimum 10 games. 8 doubles, 9 home runs, 32 runs driven in. Number 4 will be leading off, and we'll be picking it at second base. We are in the city where rock and roll hails from, and we're ready to rock and roll to a W. At least the Reds hope so. Up next, it's George Grant and Chris Welsh with all the play-by-play action of Reds baseball on Fox Sports Ohio.
Welcome back to Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. Game 1 of a 3-game set for the Ohio Cup. The Reds and the Indians ready to do battle. Kind of a crisp night, temperature in the 50s and a little bit of a breeze, but bright sunshine as we're ready to play some baseball. Reds off day yesterday, and let's check our game storylines brought to you by Elk & Elk, serious lawyers for serious injuries. Serious history, too. The history since 2010 between these two teams. The Reds record in Cleveland only 3-10. The Reds record in Cincinnati 10-3. And when you add it all up, all time, the Indians have won 45. The Reds have won 44 in interleague competition. Last year, the Reds won 3 of the 4 games played between these two clubs. That's your Elk & Elk storylines for Game 1 of this series. Let's check Brian Price's starting lineup, sponsored by Meyer for the Reds. As JD told you, Brandon Phillips is back in the leadoff spot. He's been in the leadoff spot before here in Cleveland, and of course before for the Reds. Dusty Baker put him there to jumpstart the offense a few times. Zach Cozart will bat to the number 2 spot. Joey Votto against Carrasco, 2 for 3 and a homer. Todd Frazier with 12 home runs, one of the league leaders in the National League. Marlon Byrd Brian Pena will be the designated hitter. Jay Bruce, who's had success against Carrasco. Bruce 2 for 5 and a couple of home runs. Billy Hamilton bats 8. And Tucker Barnhart, the catcher, will bat in the number 9 position. That's the Cincinnati Reds starting lineup. And on the mound for the Cleveland Indians in this stretch where they had a 5-2 road trip, Chris, the Indians pitched well. They hope that Carlos Carrasco, who comes in 4-4, can continue that trend.
Well, they hope, George, at age 28, he finally lives up to his ability, and he's got some kind of ability. His fastball averages 96 miles an hour. He's got a couple of different ones. He favors the four-seamer. If you're a right-handed hitter, you're going to see a lot of sliders to go along with that fastball. If you're a left-hander, you're going to see some change-ups. He's got great action on that split-action change. He holds it kind of like a splitter. It goes down and away. But he's a guy that has been very hittable, and they think that it's because he loses focus in the middle of the game. So sometimes you don't have the whole package out there working. A 96-mile-an-hour fastball doesn't do you much good if you're throwing it right down Broadway.
He's been hittable for the Reds, too. This Reds starting 9 players have hit over 300 against him in aggregate, so the Reds hope to get their offense on track as Phillips steps into the batter's box, ready to go to work. The Reds come in 18-22, 8.5 back in the Central of the National League. The Indians, even with that 5-2 road trip victory and 3 straight wins, 17-23. They're 9 games back in the American League Central. Both these teams are ensconced in 2 tough divisions, the Central in both the American and National Leagues. Right now, as we start the game here in the end of the month of May, there's shadows about halfway through the infield, and a tough shadow from deep in the hole. A throw from deep in the hole to first base for the first inning at least could be a little problematical for Santana, the first baseman.
Or even a pickoff throw from the first baseman or from the pitcher to the first baseman is something that you don't want to have to do very much of. I wonder if Brandon's even thinking about that.
And here's Carrasco, Critch, from the stretch. Phillips rather, sends this to right center field. Under it is Bourne. He's got it, and there's one away. Let's check the Cleveland Indians defensive alignment, brought to you by Ford. David Murphy in left, Bourne in center. Great speed for Bourne in center. Brandon Moss is over in right. Lonnie Chisenhall with a right-hander on the mound is back at third. Ramirez, Kipnis, Santana, and Perez behind the plate. Perez has been doing most of the catching. And the hope is that they'll get their number 1 catcher back by the end of the weekend, Chris. It looks more and more like that.
Well, he's down. Jan Gomes is his name, and he's down in the minor leagues right now. He had hurt his knee early in April, and they've missed him ever since. But it's not one of those situations where he had knee surgery. It was a sprained knee. He's coming back a little bit, and I think that they were hopeful to have him back tonight, but they decided to maybe postpone it a couple of days.
He'll catch one more game down at AAA tonight, have tomorrow off, and he's expected to be back in the lineup on Sunday. Here's Cozart in at 287. Had a stint at the top of the order. Didn't get a hit, but had 3 walks. He's had an outstanding bounce back first 4th of the season. About a quarter of the way through the season, and the Reds are struggling to get back to 500. Still from the stretch is Carrasco. Chris, we've seen a lot of players, and you worked a lot. You were a starter, you were a middle reliever, you were a 9th inning guy. Sometimes to get your mechanics under control, you go back to the stretch, and it'll help you.
Well, I was only a 9th inning guy if I was working on a shutout. I can tell you that. But, yeah, you know, what the problem with Carrasco has been over the years is that he always had a better go of it from the full windup than with runners on base, and they thought perhaps he wasn't adjusting to that stretch a little bit. So I imagine maybe that's the reason why he's going there right now. It also keeps you calmed down in your delivery. He's an excitable guy overall, and sometimes when you can calm your delivery down, it helps calm your nerves a little bit.
Full count 3-2 to Zach Cozart, who ranks 4th in road batting average in the National League. He's played very well on the road. In fact, most of the Reds have higher numbers on the road than at home so far this year. There's a dribbler to the right side. Jason Kipnis surrounds it, and there's 2 away, and that'll bring up Joey Votto. Votto is one who's had some success against Carrasco, and Carrasco just almost got domed by the toss from the third baseman. Talking about that sun, Chisenhall tossed the ball to him, and he was looking right in the sun, and he had to flinch to the side to finally get a glove on it. Here's Joey now at 285, 7 homers, 21 knocked in. Take a look, Chris. Whoa, look out.
And he's really not even in the sunlight right there. What do you think the first baseman, how he would feel?
Joey 2 for 3 and a homer against Carrasco. Takes one inside. Your home plate umpires Manny Gonzalez. Sean Barber's at first. Veteran Paul Schreiber's at second. And Jimmy Reynolds, your third base umpire, and this umpiring crew here in Cleveland tonight. Great to have you with us. George Grant, Chris Welch, JD, Jim Day down by the dugout. He'll be filling us in as the evening progresses on a series that is always intriguing. A lot of Reds on weekend series. Reds fans are able to drive up to Cleveland. And fortunately this year, last year there were 2 midweek series. This year it's a weekend series here, and then it'll be a weekend series back home in Cincinnati in July. So fans will get the chance to drive up and participate in the Ohio Cup festivities. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Well, it's kind of a festive night tonight here. Now, the Indians have not drawn well this year. They're down around the bottom of the pack. They're right with Tampa Bay, just about tied for worst in the American League in attendance, averaging right around 15,000 a game. It wasn't all that long ago that this ball club had that sellout streak that they were going head-to-head with the Colorado Rockies on. It's amazing how things can change over the years. But tonight there's of course, a Cavaliers basketball game going on, and a watch party next door at the basketball center. So there'll be probably 15,000 in there watching it on the big screen, and maybe about the same number here watching baseball.
Full count to Joey. That's slapped to the left side. That was a 455 consecutive sellout game streak that the Indians had at Jacobs Field, now Progressive Field.
Although it looks like a pretty good crowd tonight.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're maybe about close to 20,000 right now, but you never know as this night progresses. Some may start here and end up next door, and vice versa, depending how that one goes. Joey fouls it off, spoils a pitch by Carrasco. He'll bring the heat, 96 with that one, and he's about ready to deliver his 16th pitch of this first inning. Indians 17-23, 9 games back in the Central. They culminated a 5-2 road trip with a win last night. Got in late last night after beating the Chicago White Sox. There's a bullet into center, a base hit for Joey.
Good solid at bat, just get it going for Joey Votto. You know, there are some nights when Joey really looks like he's extra locked in, and you wonder if maybe after an off day, he knows that this ball club's struggling right now, and I also know that he knows that he needs to really get it going. His batting average has been sliding, and this was a line drive back up the middle after he bowed off a couple of tough pitches to finally get that spot pitch.
But Joey's down at first, and here comes Frazier, tied at 252, 12 homers and 23 knocked in. Some American League teams have run on the Indians over the last couple of years. When Yan Gomes is not in the lineup, Gomes expected to be back the end of this week with Perez behind the plate. The Reds, of course, lead all the major leagues with 43 stolen bases in 50 attempts. Trying to get runners on with Billy Hamilton bumped down to deep in the order. They hope to get the running game started down deep in that lineup. Breaking ball down and away. And Carrasco's behind.
Well, just measure the move of Carrasco. Not his move to first base, but his delivery to the plate. He doesn't really mix in a slide step all that much. He's given up 5 stolen bases. They've only thrown 1 out. So you can see why. He's a little bit deliberate. Right now, I think he's more worried about his delivery to the plate than anything else. Although Votto's not your stolen base guy. But I think somewhere down the road tonight, if Carrasco is going to be in the ball game, the Reds are going to try to get back to what they've done a lot of this year, which is take advantage when the opportunity presents itself. When you've got a pitcher-catcher combination that doesn't do a good job in holding runners and throwing them out, this entire ball club will run.
1 ball, 1 strike. Short lead for Votto down at first. He's not going. Pitch is on the corner for a strike.
Pretty tough pitch to hit there. 95 on the black.
One and two.
Carrasco's a deliberate kind of guy out there, isn't he? He's a throwback.
To Juan Berenguer?
To the Betancourt days.
Yeah, both of them, right? Breaking ball down and away.
Well, you get ahead. I mean, how many times do you see it? And this is a case where pitchers just give hitters too much credit. Here's a guy who's throwing very hard. It's hard to see right now. You've got shadows all over the field. He gets ahead of the hitter, 1 ball and 2 strikes, and then starts to nibble. This is really the time of day that if you ever want to start coming right after a hitter, now's the time to do it. But maybe that line drive past his ear maybe got to him a little bit.
7-10 wake-up call. 3-2. Votto going. Is hit high in the air to left field. It'll stay in the park. David Murphy in front of the warning track will squeeze it. And that'll do it. Reds get a hit. Nothing to show for it. Strand 1 in the first. Kipnis will lead it off against Mike Leake when we return. Here is won over 1,200 major league games. Of course, a couple of world championships with the Red Sox, and once a Cincinnati Red as well. A guy who came out of the University of Arizona, Golden Spikes winner, and a guy who's brought this club close to the playoffs last year and in the playoffs the year before. Here's Jason Kipnis to lead it off, followed by Carlos Santana. Michael Brantley will bat in the number 3 spot. Brandon Moss, David Murphy, Lonnie Chisenhall, Jose Ramirez, Perez, and Bourne. The starting lineup for Francona. Talk about hot. Kipnis is just that. 327, 4 homers, and 17 knocked in, and don't waste any time, huh?
Well, if you're that hot, why not swing at the first pitch? I mean, at some point you got to be thinking, I'm waving a magic wand and I'm just going to go up there and hack until it gets cold again. In fact, he's so hot that that boy delivers his bat to first base, it looked like.
Take it with me.
Mike Leake, you know, when you give up 9 runs in one game, your earned run average goes from 2.3 to 3.6. I mean, that's how unfair one outing can be for you if you judge your pitcher by ERA. But if you look at Mike Leake's body of work overall this year, it has been outstanding.
Short lead for Kipnis. Here's Santana swinging at the first pitch and fouling it off. Carlos, always one of the league leaders in walks, and it's true again this year. Last year he had over 100. This year he's number 1 in that count again with 31. He'll work a count deep. Had a couple of days off with a gimpy back, but he was back in the lineup last night in Chicago against the White Sox. Back in the lineup today. Overall at .213, 4 homers, 21 knocked in. Breaking ball misses wide. In fact, if you go back the last 4 years and add up the aggregate number of bases on balls, he's first in the American League over that whole period.
Well, he's really the poster child on this ball club for a team that walks more than any other team in the American League. I mean, they make you bring it in there.
That misses down and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to the Arizona State product, Mike Leake. Pretty good company there too in Miguel Cabrera and Jose Batista. Votto taps the bag. It's a tag play at second, and they get him. Good quick flip by Joey Votto, and a nice fast hands tag by Zach Cozart completes the 3-6 double play.
Well, it was a good decision by Votto to do it in exactly the order he did. It was right on the bag, so he went down to get the ball and then immediately knew what he was going to do probably before that ball was hit. And sure enough, that quick flip to second base, off balance but right on the money. Zach Cozart gets the second out, and that is a nice way to turn a double play.
Great slow-mo picture there to show you they just did beat Kipnis to the bag. So the runner erased 2 away, and here's Brantley. Well, over the last couple of years, Chris, 2 of the guys that we've probably been more impressed with than anybody in terms of development as we've watched them grow, this guy and Yan Gomes. Gomes has become a power source and a leader on this ball club. So is Michael Brantley. He just is solid every day. He comes up with good at bats. He's outstanding defensively in the outfield. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it?
Well, I mean, he's a full package player. He's a good player everywhere he plays. He's over 300 again this year, and just has a good quick approach to the ball. I mean, he's one of these guys, when you look at his swing and his setup, nothing screams at you and says, all right, I can get him out in this spot. He had 20 home runs last year, knocked in nearly 100. 97 to be exact. On base percentage up around 380.
And if you watch his swing, it's gotten shorter and shorter each year. When he first came up, it was big and unwieldy. It just gets shorter and more compact.
That's what happens to the good ones.
Just missing on the corner is Leake, and it's a full count, 3-2. Won the Silver Slugger Award, leading this club in just about every offensive category last year, and was an all-star last year. That's low, ball 4. So 2 base runners in the inning, the base hit, and now this walk to Brantley. I'll check your forward defensive alignment for the Reds. Bird, Hamilton, and Bruce across the outfield. Frazier's at third, Cozart and Phillips and Votto across the infield, and Barnhart behind the plate with Pena as the designated hitter here in Cleveland tonight. The Reds come in defensively, 3rd in the National League, committing only 17 errors. The Indians, 28 errors on the year already. They were last in all of Major League Baseball with over 100 errors last year. Here's Brandon Moss, 225, 6 homers, 24 knocked in. With the right-hander going, Chris, they've loaded up this lineup with left-hand batters. Brantley not going in the dirt.
Well, the Reds over the last few series have seen a number of teams that can do that. The Atlanta Braves are able to do that. Kansas City is able to do that. And you've got to have a pitch to be able to get left-handers out if you're a right-handed pitcher in the major leagues. And Mike Leake does. It's a matter of getting that cutter in on lefties and that changeup down and away.
Reds overshift on Moss with Phillips in short right field. High in the air to right. At the edge of the warning track is Bruce. He'll squeeze it. That'll do it. So a base hit and a walk. Nothing to show for it for the Indians. Bruce will be up third when we return. At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or your tablet. Jesse, you got that for your smartphone? You got that for your tablet? You got that for your trunk? How was the ride up, Jess? Good? Jesse Jackson made the trip up. Chris, a lot of the Reds fans.
He never misses his trip.
He never does. He sleeps the whole way up, either whether it's a bus or somebody else is driving, right? Here's Marlin. Bird at 8 homers and 23 knocked in for the season. Had a rough month of April. Picked it up early in May, but trying to get that magic back again. 6 homers and 15 RBIs. All of them have come in May. Overall for the season, he's got 23 runs knocked in.
Pretty nasty slider right there. After seeing 95 miles an hour, you drop a little slider on the black like that. That's the intriguing thing about Carlos Carrasco. I mean, you see him warm up in the bullpen, you say, wow, how can this guy ever get hit? But he ends up going ahead like this and then kind of nibbling himself into a hitter's count, or at least evening the count.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Boy, you saw some heavy pitching in Kansas City, huh?
Boy, they have the ability to really shorten the game there. That's a good looking ball club.
To Hopper. Chisenhall battles it. Over to Santana and retired his Bird, 1 away, and that'll bring up Brian Pena.
Batting 6 for the Reds, number 29, the designated hitter, Brian Pena.
Hey, JD, how you doing down there?
Well, that sun is bright. I want to tell you what.
You're looking right at it in that corner of that dugout, huh?
Right into it. So the first baseman can have some trouble. Say, Brian Pena DHing tonight. We thought that perhaps Devin Mesoraco would go all games this week DHing, but Brian Price said that he could absolutely play tonight. Tucker Barnhart's basically been Mike Leake's personal catcher, and he likes the matchup of Pena versus Carrasco, likes his past numbers against him. So it's not anything that Mesoraco is hurting at all. It's just that he likes this matchup right here.
Thanks, JD. He'll be there to keep you up to date on all the color of this battle for the Ohio Cup all weekend long. And I don't think there's any doubt that all Reds fans hope that Devin Mesoraco gets back in the lineup. But Chris, I mean, everyone I've talked to, every medical doctor and everybody that's been through it, all say the same thing. It's a long shot for him to get back. And the likelihood is at some point in time he'll need, it's not major surgery, it's a cleanup. And when it's done, it should solve the problem. But will he get to the point where he's going to be able to catch? He's had a couple of minor setbacks, not major setbacks in that effort. You see Paul Lassard, the trainer, they've have painstakingly taken it one slow step at a time. He can crouch down. That's the good news, and get up. And they've tried that. But then when you try to spread out, spread your legs even wider, that puts the pressure on the outside of your hip. That's when it starts to bother him again.
Is there a position in any sport, anywhere, that's tougher on your hips than catching?
Other than goaltending, no.
I mean, even that. I mean, goaltenders don't sit there for 3 hours at a time.
Boy, you know he wants to play.
Oh, he wants to play as badly as anybody you've ever met. He's taking it in stride, and every time you ask him about it, he'll politely answer. But you know inside it's killing him.
3-2, ball 4 to Pena, so the Reds get their second base runner. A Votto single in the first, a walk to Pena here in the second, and that'll bring up Bruce. Jay still trying to pass that Mendoza line. He's had some success against this right-hander, 2 for 5 and a couple of home runs, and throughout his career he's played pretty well against the Cleveland Indians. Billy Hamilton on deck. As this crowd continues to build, I think we're looking at a crowd over 20 right now, which is pretty good the way things have gone for the Indians of late. Fireworks tonight, complete with dollar hot dogs on top of it. Hit pretty good to right, going back, looking up. Moss won't get there. It's 2 hops to the wall. Here comes Pena around third. They'll hold him there. And Jay Bruce has a 2-base hit. So Bruce continues his success against Carrasco. The double puts runners at second and third with 1 out. And here's Hamilton.
Well, they got into a count where Carrasco was going to have to throw him a strike. Didn't want to go 2-0 after walking Brian Pena. And he just gets the ball up and out over the plate. And Jay Bruce is going to get to that ball. Puts a fat part of the bat on it, and he rockets that ball into right center field. That's a pretty good swing by Jay. This is where the Reds had some opportunities in Kansas City, and were just really never able to convert. Put a crooked number on the board early here, and you force the other ball club to play a little catch up.
Here's Hamilton in at 214, 3 homers, 8 knocked in. I mean, the Reds need a ground ball to second just to get a run in, and the way Hamilton can handle the bat, I mean, he pushes a bunt past the pitcher. He's got to run in, and we got runners at first and third as well. Billy slams that off his front foot. Dropped down to the number 8 spot today. The idea trying to take a little pressure off him, trying to get a little comfortable and get a good feel about his at bats again. Strike 1 to the Red center fielder. Even with the bag at third is Chisenhall, with Pena only 4 steps off the bag. In the dirt, good block by Perez. Tucker Barnhart on deck. Well, you've by now are well aware of the chronicle of errors that the Reds have come across with runners in scoring position. They've been under 200. And with runners in scoring position during this losing streak, it's been even worse at 121. Overall, they're 198.
Now, that number really shows him to be ineffective with runners in scoring position. But I think even more important than that is that they haven't had that many runners in scoring position. So every time they do and they don't convert, it makes it look worse than it really is.
2 balls, 1 strike. Carrasco peers in for the sign to the stretch. Down to first, but foul. And during this 5-game stretch, Chris, it hasn't just been not hitting with runners in scoring position. It's not productive outs, too. I mean, here, even a ground ball to second is going to get your run in. And the Reds have struggled to do that. Pena walked. He's at third. Bruce doubled. He's at second. 2-2.
You called it.
I'll get a run in. Bruce goes to third, and the Reds are on the board. That one will make Pete Rose happy sitting at home.
Well, you know, a productive out is what you were talking about right before that. It was very important for Billy just to make contact right there. I mean, shorten your approach a little bit. Make sure you put the ball in play. Try to get it either into the outfield or hit the top half of the ball, and the Reds are on the board first.
Now Pena scores 1-0 Cincinnati. And here's Barnhart now with 2 away and Bruce down at third. Tucker overall 276. A couple of homers and 3 knocked in. He started Wednesday's game at Kansas City and was 0 for 3. That ended what was for him a career high 7-game hitting streak. And boy, I was a little surprised on your trip to Kansas City. You lost on Bow Tie Tuesday.
First time all season.
5-1 now. Is that about right?
Yeah.
See, if we had Bow Tie Tuesday every day.
Is it as simple as that?
Yeah. Dribble it down to second. Kipnis has it. The Reds get a walk and a double and a ground out that produces a run. 1-0 Cincinnati. Murphy up when we return. MLB All-Star Game on Fox for you and 3 of your friends. Upload 2 photos at foxsports.com/fantastic all-star now through June the 3rd. Billy Hamilton's ground ball gets the Reds a run, and here's David Murphy, the left-handed swinger, leads it off. Bottom of 2. Murphy in at .312, 3 homers and 8 knocked in. Indians, of course, have hosted the All-Star Game here many times in the old Cleveland Municipal Stadium, and of course here at Jacobs Field in 1997. Sandy Alomar was the MVP, the man who's down there coaching at first base for the Indians. One of the great Indians and great families, Chris, that we've come across. Sandy Sr., of course, a guy who we all learned a lot of baseball from. Sandy's dad, Roberto. Sandy, of course, came up in San Diego, where his dad was on the staff when Jack McKeon was there, and was traded here to Cleveland. That was in the Joe Carter deal. Became a fixture here, an outstanding player, and I think one day Chris is going to be a pretty good manager. He deserves a shot. High hopper, they'll have to hustle to get there. Leak, good athlete, does. No, he said he was off the bag. And Mike Leake won't argue. He must have just missed the bag as that right foot stabbed at the bag as he got there.
You know, it is so difficult to try to keep your eye on the baseball and wonder where your foot is. You reach for it, and you think you've got it, but you're going at nearly full speed. And that's really about all Joey Votto could do. Votto actually threw the ball behind him, let him leak as much as he can. But that's why in an ideal world, you get the ball to the pitcher before he gets to the bag. But in that play, you couldn't do that. That ball was just hit in no man's land.
It'll go as a hit. Infield hit for Murphy. And here's Chisenhall at 224. Votto goes to second for one. The return to first, not in time. The Reds almost turning their second double play started by the first baseman. 3-6 is the put out. And Chisenhall's on at first.
Joey Votto being tested down there tonight, and he has been so good so far. Picks a quick backhand, fires it as quick as he can, and that's a tough way to get a double play. But Chisenhall getting down the line pretty quickly.
So 1 out, 1 on, and here's Jose Ramirez in at 200, a homer and 7 knocked in. This is his 34th game for the Indians at shortstop this year. Spent a lot of time in the number 2 spot in the order last year, and then when Santana was on the sidelines, was back there again this year. Dropped back down to the number 7 hole here tonight. Outstanding young prospect.
Well, he is. He was in a real fight for a battle on this ball club, for a roster spot, that is, with a nice young prospect that they have, Francisco Lindor.
Mm-hmm. And it's a matter of time before we see him up here, Chris.
I mean, he's generally regarded as one of the best young prospects in all of baseball right now, hitting .255 down for Columbus in the International League. Two balls and a strike. Lindor is 21 and Jose Ramirez only 22. So they've got a nice decision here to make, or a decision that you'd like to have to make, between two young, good shortstop prospects that are almost major league ready, or one is major league ready here with Ramirez.
3-1. In the 2 spot in the order, he was called upon to bunt a lot. Down at this point, he'll take that one wide, and it's a walk. Second walk allowed by Leak. So that puts runners at first and second. Still only 1 out, and here's Perez.
So when you're hitting 200, you're really happy with a walk.
And speaking of walks, here comes Roberto Perez with all of the injury time that Yan Gomes has spent out for 6 weeks. Perez has been more or less the everyday catcher, and in doing that, he leads the American League in walks himself with 17 this season. That's a little low for a ball. Overall, 173, 3 homers, and 7 knocked in.
I mean, really, how can a guy that's hitting 173 walk 17 times?
Helps your on-base percentage, doesn't it? Imagine what it'd be without it.
I mean, yeah, hitting 173's on-base percentage is 320. Maybe he's not allowed to swing the bat.
Good point.
I mean, there's so many numbers around baseball nowadays, it makes you glaze over. But there are some that just jump out at you, and that would be the one that I would think of. And against Roberto Perez, the other number I'd think of is strike 1, and then strike 2.
Yeah.
Because this guy has shown not to chase. So while you nibble, he takes bases on balls.
And if there's a key to success, Mike Leake will tell you it is strike 1. You know, Chris, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. We were wondering what was wrong with Corey Kluber, and boy, has he turned his season around the last couple of starts. We'll see him tomorrow, but it's strike 1. He was having trouble getting behind hitters, and with great stuff, that's even more important. And now he goes to a 3-ball count again. 3 balls, 1 strike.
You know, back in the day, you used to hear somebody from the dugout yelling, "Babe Ruth is dead." Throw strikes.
Was it your pitching coach?
I heard it a lot.
I know it wasn't Sammy Ellis off the end of the bat. Might have been your manager, though.
You know, it looks like they're just trying to stay away from a fastball to Roberto Perez. And that is 3 breaking balls in a row. He finally threw another one in there for a strike, and he's got a full count now. But this is really where I think that sometimes there's so many numbers, and it puts fear in the pitcher because you're giving a hitter too much credit. Oh, you can't throw him a fastball because he might hit a home run. Well, he's hitting 170.
What did Tom Glavine tell you?
Work fast, no strikes.
Trust your stuff. And another walk. He walked the number 7 and number 8 hitters to load the bases. One quadrant for every pitch. And here's Bourne. Michael in at 228, no homers and 9 knocked in. Reds double play depth middle of the infield with Bourne's speed, difficult to double up though. Infield hit by Murphy, and 2 walks have loaded the bases here in the second for the Indians. Long look in there, thought he had a strike. 2-0.
Well, here comes a message right now as Jeff Pico's going to jog out to the mound, and I would imagine it's going to be pretty direct and straightforward. Tucker Barnhart trying the best he can to frame that up to make it look like a strike, but it's not. You know, maybe this happens after you get out and you have an outing like he did the last time, Mike Leake that is, against the Giants, where he got beat around all over the place. Even balls that were not hit all that hard, found holes. It was just one of those nights that everything that could go wrong went wrong. But you've got to wipe that page completely clean and go back to what is winning pitching. And winning pitching is strike 1. And having to trust your stuff enough to throw a fastball to a fastball hitter if you have to.
And Bourne steps out. Already 33 pitches for Leake here in the first 2 innings. And he's 3-0 to Bourne. And he walked in a run. 3 straight walks. And the Indians have tied this up as Chisenhall steps across the plate with the tying run here in the bottom of the second.
I mean, it's not like you're walking the Indians of the 1995 team with Albert Bell and Roberto Alomar and that group. I mean, you're walking the bottom part of this order where they're all hitting about 200 or less.
200, 173, and 228, 7, 8, and 9. Now back to the top of the order and the hottest hitter that the Indians have, and Jason Kipnis, who singled on the first pitch he saw back in the first. That hit brought his average up to 331. Ball and a strike to Kipnis. Ramirez at third, Perez at second, Bourne at first. And now they're just waiting him out to throw a strike. 2-1. Slice down the left field line, curving, it'll go foul against the sidewall. And it's 2-2. Kipnis, after his slow month of April, Chris, has turned it on in May.
Well, he's done it especially against right-handed pitchers, too. You can see him atop that list. We saw enough of Mike Moustakas in Kansas City to make it hard to forget him.
What a tremendous year he's had. 2-2. Bloop, center field. It'll drop. 1 run will score, and that's all. 18 runs batted in for Kipnis. He's 2 for 2. That'll bump that 406 average up another notch against righties.
You know, when you're hitting 400 or plus 400 like Kipnis is lately, you're going to get a lot of hits like this. And this is just the other reason why you don't want to face a hitter that is hitting well, because he's getting a lot of breaks, too. Mike Leake makes a pretty good pitch right there, saws him off. But he drops it in no man's land. For a guy who's not getting his hits right now, that ball finds some leather and it's an out. Another reason why you don't want to walk the bottom of the order.
And here comes Santana, who bounced into a double play first time up.
I just get the feeling from watching Mike tonight that he's got no confidence in his fastball, that he's just afraid to throw it. He's throwing a lot of breaking balls. He's throwing cutters down and into left-handers. I mean, at some point, you just got to go back and use that good old number 1. Whether you throw it 91 or 99, you got to use it.
Did he go? Yes, he did. Ball and a strike.
Now, Santana didn't like that, but, you know, one of the things that can help a pitcher in a situation like this is you keep telling yourself, I'm 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning. I'm going to make a good pitch right here and get a double play ball. The guy doesn't run well, and I'm going to get out of the inning. You keep telling yourself that. You don't tell yourself, hey, bases are loaded, I better make a good pitch or else. You try to keep it positive and try to keep your energy stronger than the energy of the guy standing in the batter's box.
Go through the signs 2 more times. Here's the 1-2. That slapped the other way and out of play. Ninth start of the year for the Reds right-hander. It's the 5th time he started against the Indians in interleague play. Nub down to first. Votto comes to the plate. They'll get 1, and that's all. Force play at the plate. That's the 2nd out of the inning.
Another good play by Votto defensively. As I said, that he's getting a chance tonight to improve his defensive metrics a little bit.
4 ground balls he's been a part of already.
I mean, he's fielded them all flawlessly. He's done about everything you can. He makes another good decision right here by knowing you're not going to get a double play. Get the lead runner. Barnhart plays it like a first baseman, so no harm done in that ground ball.
So now the infield drops back. Base is still loaded. 8th batter of the inning up. It's Brantley. He walked first time up. 4 walks in 2 innings by Leake. 3 of them here in the 2nd. 1 of them forcing in a run.
Well, with his walk last at bat, it's really incredible how many times he walks compared to the number of times he strikes out. I mean, he is setting the standard in all of baseballs.
Hit hard down to short. Bobbled by Cozart, but he hangs on, and the Reds get out of the inning. But before they do, 8 come to the plate. Indians scored 2 and take a 2-1 lead on 33 pitches by Leake. Against the best teams in the world in search of their 3rd World Cup title. The only place you can see the 2015 FIFA Women's World Cup is on Fox and Fox Sports 1 beginning June the 6th. Talk about an aggregate group of athletes that have really vaulted themselves to the top of the world, and that certainly is the Women's World Cup team. Outstanding. I guess you could say that too about the Ohio State Buckeyes. And in the house tonight, Cardell Jones. I tell you, you talk about the Indians have 2 great young shortstops coming up. How'd you like to be Urban with a bucket load of quarterbacks too? That's a bouncer down the 3rd base line into the corner by Brandon Phillips. He turns first, will head to 2nd, and Brandon Phillips has a leadoff double here in the 3rd.
I'll tell you, for a guy that's playing with a condition of turf toe, he's hitting the ball better than anybody on this Reds ball club. all over the place. So well, in fact, that he's been placing that #1 spot, hoping to kickstart this offense.
How many times over the years, Chris, have we seen him inserted in this spot and he starts to get the team on track?
Well, he's right on time with his foot. You see how quickly he gets his heel up, his foot down. His bat is in a good hitting spot. And right now, Brandon Phillips is seeing it big.
In his career against his former team, the Indians, 350, 9 homers, and 32 knocked in. Remember that first home run he hit when he came back here to play the Indians. First of those 9 helped the Reds to a victory, and he's always kept a little juice in his back pocket against the Indians.
Even though it's early in the game right now, Zach Cozart's challenge is to get that ball to the right side of the infield. He just saw a fastball on the outer part of the plate for strike 1 that he looked at. You got to get that runner over to third base and make it easy for Joey Votto to get him in. He's trying to there, but now finds himself in an 0-2 count.
Our key in the driver's seat numbers tonight. Zach Cozart is in the driver's seat against the Indians. He's another guy who's had some pretty good numbers, over 400, second highest average of any players against the Indians. The Red Sox, Daniel Nava at 420, just a notch ahead of him. Hangs in there 0-2. Votto to follow as the Reds took an early 1-0 lead and now trail it 2-1 here in the third. Short lead for Phillips off second with Ramirez right behind him.
You guys have good seats. They've got good seats. I mean, they're closer.
Well, if Carrasco continues to go away, he'll feed right into what Cozart wants to do. We've not really seen him intentionally pitch inside yet tonight. He keeps trying to peck away at that outside corner.
1-2. Swing and a miss, and the bat all the way down to third, so he gets the out, and still sitting at second is Phillips.
First strikeout of the night for Carrasco. Kind of unusual, really, because he strikes out more than innings pitched. And Zach is thinking about outside. He gives it to him outside, but a little bit too far, and he whirly birds the bat.
So here's Joey with a runner at second. They're moderately overshift against him. Chisenhall about 30 feet off the bag, and another step, and Phillips may try to pick his pocket. Ramirez trying to keep him close at second.
You know, if you're Brian Price, you got to be thinking, well, if I can't get better execution than what I'm seeing, maybe after a leadoff double, I'll have the next guy bunt. So that Joey Votto, who can hit a fly ball really at will, can just drive him in like that and tie the ball game up. Now you're relying on Votto to get a base hit. Now he looked really good his first time up. Nearly took the cap right off of Carlos Carrasco, who, by the way, was knocked out of a game on April the 14th. Melky Cabrera hit him in the face with a line drive when they were playing the White Sox, and they had to cart him off the field, you know, with a golf cart.
Scary stuff.
Very scary. But came back, no problem. I guess the umpires have said it's okay to blow into your hand tonight. That's a decision made by the umpire chief at the beginning of the game.
Ball and a strike to Votto, single to center, first time up. That's a strike.
Votto didn't like that. Pretty good downward plane right there. That ball really sinking hard.
Way wide, and it's 2-2. 28-year-old Venezuelan peers in, gets his sign from Perez. Swing and a miss, and he got Joey down and in. So the Reds' struggles with runners in scoring position continued. Leadoff double and 2 strikeouts to back it up.
And even choking up right there, trying to prevent against the strikeout. Carrasco takes a little bit off it. That's that changeup. He throws it like a splitter, and you can see it coming out of his hand. And he just kind of turns it over at the very end, gets good downward break, and a key strikeout there against Joey Votto.
So here's Frazier, fly ball to left, first time up. Todd second in the league, in the National League, with his 12 home runs. Swing and a miss at another changeup.
Well, the really interesting thing about Carrasco, if you just break it down into what the splits are, what do left-handed hitters do against him, what do right-handed hitters do against him, he is much more effective this year against lefties. Like 100 points better.
Loop to left. Murphy over, reaching up. Can't get it. A run's going to score, and Frazier will cruise into second with a 2-base hit. 7th double of the season for Frazier, and the Reds have knotted this one up at 2.
That's how strong Todd Frazier is, because it did look like a loop to left. An awkward swing, a little bit off balance, but he is so strong. His hands are so strong that even though he's really out of a good solid batting position there, he drives the ball over the head of the left fielder. Aren't too many guys that can do that.
So Frazier delivers with the run batted in. His team leading 24th, and he's in scoring position. And the Reds get a hit with a runner in scoring position. Here's Bird, bounced to third, first time up.
Now, there's a lefty-righty split we were talking about there. How effective he is against left-handers goes directly to the fact that his best off-speed pitch is a splitter and not a slider.
I mean, Corey Kluber pitched maybe the best game we saw last year when he beat the Reds. He was outstanding. And in the last 2 months of the season, this guy pitched even better than Kluber. He was amazing. The Indians thinking that coming back this year, if Bauer did what he's supposed to do, if Carrasco does what he's supposed to do, and Kluber does what he's supposed to do, they got a pretty good 1-2-3.
Well, they do. But the problem is only one of those guys has pitched a complete year in the major leagues, and that's Corey Kluber. So you're asking a lot of guys with very few innings on their arm to withstand the rigors of an entire big league season.
1-2. That slapped out a play down the right field line.
And really, that's the same thing the Reds are asking of a number of players in their pitching staff. Anthony DeSclafani. You know, the only guys that have had full years have been, Cueto and Mike Leake. Everybody else is a fill-in, especially over the last few years. Now, Jason Marquis has, but it's been a long time since he's done it.
And you lose a Homer Bailey in that mix, too.
Exactly. That's why it's hard to lose a frontline pitcher like Bailey for an entire year, because usually it takes more than just one guy to fill his spot, sometimes up to 3 to fill the spot of one guy who's going to give you 200+ innings.
You say you have a 5-man rotation. Most teams will need at least 8, probably 10 starters in the course of a year.
If you need 10, you're in trouble.
Yep. Loop to right. Moss is there, and he'll squeeze it. But the Reds get a run, a tying run from Frazier. His 24th run batted in. We're knotted at 2. Moss will be up.
day ever since Brandon Phillips was traded from the Indians to Cincinnati. Man, he's had a boatload of shortstops to play with. In fact, 26 of them. But now, finally settling in. Tonight is the 400th start. The double play combination of Cozart and Brandon Phillips. And kiss that one goodbye.
You're going to have that kind of effect, JD. We got to have you do those bits when the Reds are up.
I'm just glad he didn't come up last inning.
Brandon Moss rips his 7th home run. Now 25 runs batted in, and just like that, the Indians have a 3-2 lead. You know, JD, when you talk about Brandon Phillips and the shortstop combo and the right field side, their first base side too, he and Joey are approaching 900 games together. When you talk about who's at the other positions, there's a bouncer past Phillips into center and back-to-back hits. But when you start putting the numbers up that Phillips has as your career starts to go on, you start to reach some pretty impressive numbers.
Well, there's no question about that. I mean, we are so lucky on a nightly basis to watch him field, and some of those plays that he makes look routine are so hard. And you mentioned it, 873 starts now for Phillips and Votto. So around that infield, Frazier now signed to a longer-term deal, so you could see this infield for a few years.
The 2 hits, the homer, then the single, and here's Lonnie Chisenhall. Bounced into a 3-6 put out in the 2nd inning. Big breaking ball drops in there for a strike. Murphy off first. That's foul past Sandy Alomar down at the first base coach's box. Mike Sarbar is the third base coach for the Indians as usual here at Progressive Field tonight. Oh, and 2. Phillips will get 1 at second, and that's all they'll get. 4 to 6 fielder's choice.
Boy, good concentration right there by Brandon Phillips to keep his eye on the baseball, because right before that ball got to him, the runner Murphy was right in his way. I mean, he kind of shielded him out. He still has the wherewithal to know that he's got plenty of time to get Murphy with a good backhand flip. And they're only going to get 1.
First out of the inning, so runner at first, 1 away, and here's Ramirez, who walked. He started the trouble in the 2nd inning. Ramirez walked, Perez walked after the infield hit by Murphy, and Bourne followed with a bases loaded walk to tie the game at 1, and then Kipnis singled to give the Indians a 2-1 lead. Ramirez now one of 7 Ramirez around Major League Baseball. Of course, you think of Ramirez here in Cleveland, you think of Manny Ramirez and the great years he had. Don't think of too many Reds with the last name Ramirez over the years. Nub foul. Oh, there was easy. Elizardo.
Well, you got a good memory, George.
That's about it.
Forgot all about him.
Easy. He came from Philadelphia originally, didn't he? Didn't spend as much time with the big club, though. 0-2. Votto will take the out. Bourne retired on 3 unassisted. And that'll bring Perez to the plate. Going to second is Chisenhall. Leake trying to get the wheels back on track here in the third. Gave up a leadoff homer, then a bullet base hit by Murphy. Roberto walked to load the bases in the second, and was followed by another walk that forced in the first run. High in the air to left, Bird back, got it measured, and he hauls it in. So a leadoff homer by Brandon Moss gives the Indians a 3-2 lead. Pena up when we return. Five times on the 2015 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot at Reds.com. Voting exclusively online and available on your computer, tablet, and smartphone. Vote early, vote often, vote Reds today at Reds.com. David Murphy's homer and Brandon base hit and Brandon Moss's home run have given the Indians a 3-2 lead as we go to the fourth. Pena leads it off. Bruce and Hamilton due to follow. Pena walked in the second, went to third on a double by Bruce, and scored on a ground out by Hamilton. I don't know, Chris. I understand the computer age, but I kind of miss looking around the ballpark and seeing kids punching out the old cards for the All-Star Game ballots.
Yeah.
I guess it's more efficient and obviously more people involved and probably costs less in the long run, too.
Can you vote as many times, though?
What's the most you ever punched out?
I was never really a good punch-out guy.
I'm not talking about strikeouts.
I'm more of a ground ball guy.
I'm talking about punch-out on the cards. He took the kids.
Hey, when I took computer courses in college, we had to do that.
That's right.
It gave me bad memories of voting the All-Star Game.
You and your hanging chads.
Careful now.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Did he go? Yes, he did. Pena retired on a strikeout. That is strikeout number 3 for Carrasco.
We'll take a look on the side look and see if he really went around. Watch the barrel of the bat.
The batter for Cincinnati, right fielder Shane Bruce.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Could have gotten the benefit of the doubt, but awful close. Here's Jay, double to right first time up. You talk a lot about pitching mechanics and finding what works for you. Carrasco working out of the stretch here to try to refine his mechanics. Same thing for a hitter. And the double that Bruce hit, got that front foot down. He was strong with his swing to the ball and drilled it over the right fielder Moss, one hop to the wall. Timing and mechanics so critical.
And that goes along with confidence, because if you think you have your timing and mechanics down, your confidence begins to soar, and then you see the ball bigger and the game is slower for you. When your mechanics are off a little bit and you start chasing pitches like that, then your confidence goes down.
That can't be a
couple of Reds now barking at the home plate umpire Manny Gonzalez. I mean, and Jay Bruce is making no qualms about it. Gonzalez has to know. I mean, at some point, it would be nice for an umpire to say, you know what, Jay, I missed that one, but I can't do anything about it now. Start getting the box and swing.
I mean, Perez just about picked it off the ground. And you're not going to see Jay argue very often.
Well, and the important thing is we've talked about Mike Leake wiping the slate clean. There's no way that's a strike. But okay. You know, a human error, no problem, but don't think about that when you're looking at the rest of the at-bat.
Full count, 3-2.
And it also doesn't mean the next time he throws one down around the ankles, he's going to call it a strike either.
But on that pitch, you almost have to swing at it, knowing that the previous one.
You got 2 strikes on you, too.
3-2 again. That's a foul ball.
The pitch location of the double that Jay Bruce had was up and out over the plate. It's the same spot most big left-handed hitters like it. There's a misnomer that they like it down and in. They like it out and away and up a little bit, just about belt high or thereabouts.
That's ball 4. Bruce is on for the second time on the free pass. 1 out, 1 on, and here comes Hamilton.
Really ball 5.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later at tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Not that you're counting, huh?
You know, I'm going to get in trouble with the umpires, I know, and we're friends of the umpires. They're good guys. Everybody makes a mistake.
What's a ball or a strike between friends? There goes Bruce. Here comes the throw. It will be in time, and they got him.
Well, I thought Jay had a pretty good lead and a pretty good jump right there. And Roberto Perez picks up for what Carlos Carrasco really doesn't do very well, which is hold runners. Kind of a high leg kick, but Perez right on the money, and that's the only way you're going to get Jay Bruce.
Good catch and throw by Perez. Gets Bruce. So base runner erased. 2 away. Now back to Hamilton. 1 ball and 1 strike.
He hit him outside of the batter's box.
He was 1 step out of the box when it glanced against his leg. So Billy called out as he's hit by the batted ball. And the Reds are caught stealing, and a bunted ball that hits Hamilton's leg. Take another look. And the base runner erased. Back with more after this. Bunt attempt, you can see as it caroms off the dirt, it looks like it hits the right hand of Billy, whose hand is still on the bat right there.
Yeah. And while your hand is on the bat, that means it's not part of the bat. So
if it hits the bat, it's just a foul ball.
It's like having it hit you on the foot in fair territory. You run into your own batted ball, you are out. The other part of that looked pretty close, and we really couldn't tell, and maybe he didn't have it, but it looked like his left foot, maybe it was his front foot, maybe it was his right foot, was very close to stepping on home plate when he kind of rotated around to get in bunting position. Either way, it's an out.
Here's Bourne. He walked with the bases loaded to force in the first run for the Indians back in the second inning.
I can only hope that Billy, after making it out on a bunt, doesn't just put the bunt away and not use it the rest of the game. It's a big weapon for him, and I'm not so sure that I think he's using it enough.
Being aggressive can also be accomplished with the bunt in his case. That's a bouncer past Phillips into center, a base hit. So Bourne's on for the second time, a leadoff hit here in the fourth. And it's the fourth straight inning the Indians have gotten the leadoff hitter on. Now time for IGS bringing the energy numbers for Jason Kipnis. Talk about where he's been in the month of May. He's first in average in the month of May. We told you about his batting average against right-handed pitching. At home he's been immense, and multi-hit games he's tied for third in the league. So talk about taking over the leadoff spot. He sure has done that. So here's Bourne, always a stolen base threat. Those numbers have been cut down. He's stolen 36 of 57 as an Indian, even with the injuries he's had of late. And if you go back to 2008, he leads all major league players in steals with 293. Well, yes, gets the hand back in.
Bourne had 3 years there, 2008, well, make it 4 years, 8, 9, 10, and 11, where he was stealing anywhere from 40 to 61 bases. And that's when all those big stolen bases numbers were piled up. Last few years, not at all. 28 last year. And now that he's 32 years old, he's not getting any faster. This year is 3 up and 3 down.
And he's had extensive stints on the DL. 2 balls, 1 strike to Kipnis. Big hole on the right side for him. Three and 1.
Well, Kipnis is one of those hitters that stays really still as that ball is en route. You know, some guys have a little bit of movement. They try to get a little rhythm going at the plate, but Kipnis very stiff.
Bourne going, and it's ball 4. Five walks issued by Leake, uncharacteristic for him on this night in Cleveland.
I'd imagine the bullpen phone's going to ring pretty soon. I don't know how long the leash is going to be on Mike Leake tonight, but the Reds need this victory. They need to snap out of what they've been doing here, which is not playing great baseball, and it's really been led down by the starting pitching. Really, except for Johnny Cueto, the last time through the rotation hasn't been good at all.
Here's Carlos Santana, bounced into a 3-6 double play and bounced into a force out to Votto.
Nobody up and throwing in the Reds bullpen. Look like they're doing a little Pilates down there, but nobody's warming up.
For those of you that have been here to Cleveland, it's a brand new configuration from center field to right field. The Reds bullpen used to be right along the foul line in the right field corner. There's a liner to right. Bruce over, got it. Tag it at second, but holding there is Bourne. Nice play by Jay Bruce, cutting off the shot into the alley by Santana.
Boy, hit right on the button. It just goes to show you, though, you got defense back there. No defense for a walk, but that line drive is an out.
The first out of the inning. Double play can get Leake out of the trouble, but here's Brantley. A walk and a bounce out. This ballpark, it was built back in 1994. Then it was Jacobs Field, now Progressive Field. When it was first constructed, it was one of the last of the new stadiums. Leake goes to the stretch that did not have an open concourse behind home plate like Great American Ballpark is, where you can see the field. And what they've done this past year was open up that right field stand area to make an open concourse with refreshments and bands out there, and they moved the bullpen. They're back to back with each other in right center field for the first time. Fouled off by Brantley, 1-2.
It doesn't take long for, actually it did take a long time here for big league operations to figure out that bullpens don't buy seats. Those guys in the bullpen, they're not buying any seats out there. So let's move them back a little bit. You can put those mounds really anywhere, even under the stadium if you had to. That's probably coming up next. Well, finally, Mike Leake ahead in the count right here to Michael Brantley. That's an oddity because Brantley is an expert in really working it the other way.
From the stretches, Leake. Here's the 1-2 with 2 on and 1 out. In the dirt, good block by Barnhart.
You know, we showed you a stat, and we really didn't get to look at it very well. But look what Michael Brantley has done this year as far as the number of walks compared to the number of strikeouts. This is walks for every strikeout. Michael Brantley has 2 times as many walks as he does strikeout. And he's lapping really the rest of the field. The best player the Reds know is Joey Votto, and he doesn't even have 1-to-1 walk to strikeout. So that's what Michael Brantley is setting a whole new standard in that department this year.
Leak to the stretch. And you figure if you're 1-to-1, you're pretty good.
Oh, you're excellent. I mean, there are very few players around the league. That was always a standard that Albert Pujols used to set in the National League when he was with the Cardinals. He'd always pride himself on having more walks than strikeouts. And there aren't too many players around that can do that.
Votto's always been throughout his career just about a 1-to-1 guy. And his on-base percentage, lack of strikeouts, the walks that he's taken have made him one of the more complete offensive players in the game. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Holding it there is Barnhart, doesn't get the call, and will go full 3-2.
Well, of course, and then you earn the reputation for having a good eye at the plate, and sometimes umpires buy into it.
(3-2). Great speed at second and Bourne. Kipnis down at first. Runners going. That's bounced down to first. That'll move the runners over. Votto will tap the bag for the second out of the inning. So no hit for Brantley, but he does move the runners over. And here's Moss, who homered last time up, his 7th of the year. That's given the Indians that 3-2 lead on your scoreboard. And a constant work from the stretch night for Mike Leake, never getting into a rhythm. Every inning, the leadoff hitters reach base. Though he hasn't, I mean, Chris, you knew when you started, if you could get into a rhythm early, sometimes you just kept mowing things along. That's drilled towards the right field corner. That's going to chase 2 home. It's one hopping off the wall. What a night for Moss. A fly ball to right, and then A homer that made it 3-2, and this double makes it 5-2 Cleveland.
Well, Brandon Moss seeing the ball very big off Mike Leake tonight. You got to wonder, where has Brandon Moss come from? I mean, he was drafted by the Red Sox. He played for Pittsburgh on and off. He only had 1 year there where he was really any kind of a regular player. You could have got him for nothing. He was released, picked up by Philadelphia, and then finally went to Oakland, and that's where he blossomed.
Fly ball center field. Hamilton back. Warning track against the wall. He'll haul it in, and Murphy's retired. But Brandon Moss works his magic again. A double plates two. It's 5-2 Indians. Ball on Fox Sports Ohio is being brought to you by Meyer. By your local Ford dealer. Ford, go further. And by Cincinnati Children's, ranking 3rd in the country on United States News and World Report's best children's hospital. Now, just across the Esplanade from Progressive Field is the basketball arena where the Cleveland Cavaliers are not playing here tonight. They're playing in Atlanta, but they've got a packed house watching the game in the arena. The Cavaliers lead the series 1-0. The series returns after tonight's game here to Cleveland. So downtown there's probably 30,000 to 40,000 people watching sports tonight. There's Tucker. Barnhart bounced to second to end the second inning, leading it off here in the 5th. Chris, we talked about in the old days the sports economy, and when Jacobs Field was first built in '94, the flats exploded and downtown exploded around the ballpark, and then the team hit on hard times, and a lot of things went south. And after LeBron left, things went south from a basketball standpoint too. You could feel the energy downtown and the energy around the ballpark starting to come back down here.
It's really amazing how one person has really changed the entire way a city feels about itself.
It's the LeBron economy.
Yeah.
Change up, swing and a miss. Barnhart retired. That's strikeout number 4. And similar to what the Reds have done in the Banks area, where it's a completely different feeling around the ballpark there. 4 strikeouts for Carrasco. Back to the top of the order, Brandon Phillips. Great to have you with us. We're at Progressive Field. George Grant, Chris Welsh, Jim Day. Of course, tonight's game, as usual, produced by Josh Hall, directed by Brian Hunterman. Down in the truck, Matt Sigafus dialing up some highlights for you, and Lauren White giving you the graphic picture of tonight's picturesque story from Progressive Field. Kent Dream Weaver back home in our studios with Brian Giesenslaw and Jeff Pecoro. And all of this under the stern direction of Jesse Jackson, who's up in the booth with us. Where would we be without Jesse?
Oh,
Chris?
we love having Jesse here.
Didn't get a ticket coming up. He took the bus. Here's Brandon. Fly ball to center and a double to left. Dribbled in front of the plate. Perez takes care of it. Great to see our executive producer for Fox Sports Ohio, Tom Farmer, who's in town. Of course, Bob Pennell here, and Francois McGillicuddy stopped by to say hi tonight too. Hey, don't forget, be part of Major League Baseball's All-Star action this summer in Cincinnati by visiting T-Mobile's All-Star Fan Fest, world's largest interactive baseball theme park at the Duke Energy Convention Center, the 10th through the 14th of July. Purchase your tickets now at allstargame.com. And here's a hard hit ball off the glove of Chisenhall. He'll scoop it up too late, and Cozart will be on an error by the third baseman Lonnie Chisenhall.
Chisenhall had to make a decision. Early in the game, he went a couple of steps back on a ground ball that was hit by Marlon Byrd and got it by a step at first base. This time he decided to charge at. He was thinking he was going to get to that ball on the big hop, and he just wasn't able to do that. Had a lot of overspin on it. When it hit the second time, it just spun away from him.
29th error for the Indians this year. So Cozart's on, and here's Votto. Joey singled to center and struck out 1 for 2.
Be a good inning to strike back and get a run out of this. I mean, it's all momentum has gone Indians right now. They've scored 5 runs really in the last 3 innings. The Reds have only been able to put 1 up there in the third.
5 runs, 7 hits for the Indians, 2 runs, 4 hits for the Reds, and activity in the bullpen for Cincinnati. Throw down to first, not in time. Burke Baden hops, the right-hander, starting to loosen. Big slow breaking ball drops in. 1-2. Cozart going in the dirt. The throw will be in time. They nail another runner. Cozart caught stealing, second time in 2 innings. The Reds had had a runner caught at second base. Base runner erase. Another look. Still 5-2 Cleveland. supports Folds of Honor in its mission of providing educational scholarships to families of military members who have been killed or disabled while serving our great country. For more information, visit foxsportsupports.com. And we hope, as this Memorial Day weekend unfolds, that you take some time out to thank those who you know and those who you don't, but who certainly have made our great country what it is today. Some have served and returned home. Some have served and unfortunately not returned home, but we honor them on this Memorial Day weekend. Mike Leake's night is done. 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, 5 walks, uncharacteristic for the Reds right-hander. And here's Burke Badenhop, Chris.
Back-to-back very tough outings for Mike Leake. He just did not look comfortable all night long tonight. And the Reds are going to go to their bullpen after giving up 5 runs. Badenhop in for the 15th game.
To Hopper, backhanded by Phillips, and they'll get the out. Nice play by Brandon. Takes a skidding second hop, turns it into a 4-3 put out, 1 away here in the 5th. First time tonight that the leadoff hitter didn't reach safely. One away, and here's Jose Ramirez, walked and bounced out. That's a strike, says Manny Gonzalez. Yeah, it's missing 1 and 1. You know, Chris, we were in Chicago last week. I think we both enjoyed the time we had to spend with Don Cooper, the pitching coach for the White Sox. And you and I talk often, and you know, the old Ray Miller line, work fast, throw strikes, change speeds, the shirts that he used to have his Oriole pitchers use. And Coop said, I want to amend that throw strikes, then work fast, then change speeds. For him, throw strikes is important. And boy, what a difference it makes, especially for a struggling team, if you're throwing strike 1 all the time.
Well, I mean, that's the word you get about Corey Kluber, is that, you know, if you talk to an advanced scout about what he will do for the Reds against the Reds tomorrow, which is come right at you. I remember reading some of the scouting reports that Gene Bennett used to write as the advanced scout for the Reds, and he would write it just like that. He wouldn't get all technical about what guy throws in certain counts and so on. He would give you trends and so on, but Gene would write in big letters with a Sharpie, comes right at you, and at you would be 1 word, and that means that you better be ready to swing the bat when you come up there, and that's the only way you can pitch and be successful. I mean, even pitchers with great stuff cannot pitch behind in the count all the time and end up expecting to be good.
You know, analytics are great, and there's a place for them in the game of baseball. Statistical analysis is critical, but you know, the Gene Bennetts of the game, the people who saw the game with their eyes, the people who could tell not just what the numbers tell you, but what the heart and soul of a player is, those are intangibles that very often tell the difference between winning and losing. Fly ball center, back is Hamilton at the wall. He got it. Billy goes a long way to track that one down and robs Ramirez of extra bases. Man, he went a mile and a half.
Throw a guy like Ramirez strikes because he hits one of his best bolts, and unless he hits it down the line, it's going to stay in the yard. You got the speediest center fielder in baseball out there. You might as well use him.
Now look at where he's playing. He's playing shallow, shaded a step or 2 towards left center, and he tracks it down 1 step from the wall.
I'll tell you, for a guy who came up through the minor leagues as a shortstop, he has taken to the outfield and just done a tremendous job defensively. I know there are a lot of people, you know, maybe unsatisfied with his offense right now. Got to hang with him.
I think what Billy's saying, it's dusk here, and between the lights and the sky, he didn't see the ball at first, but boy, he knew where it was going, and he just took off for a spot. That's the sign of a good defensive outfielder. You know, the offensive side is a work in progress. It's going to take him a while to be the player that he could be. And you and I talked to Vince Coleman. We talked to Delino DeShields. You talked to Eric Davis, and they all say the same thing, that it's going to take some time for him to find out what he is and who he is at the plate. But boy, he hasn't missed a beat out in center field.
Well, we've watched a lot of other players too come into the major leagues with great expectations. Look at Bryce Harper. I mean, nobody was more heralded than he was coming up. And when did he first start getting it, really getting it? Not until this year.
That's a walk to Perez.
The hitter for the Indians, the center fielder.
2 out, 1 on, and here's Michael Bourne, who walked to force in a run in the second and then singled to lead off the fourth. You know, Bourne's a great example of that. I mean, you and I remember talking to Davey Lopes when he was with the Philadelphia Phillies, saying, look, this kid's not going to get it today or tomorrow, but when he gets it, he's going to be a very productive major leaguer, and he's put together a darn good major league career.
10 years plus.
He had speed but didn't have a clue on how to steal a base. Lopes hammered away at him, not on the physical side, but more the mental side more than anything else. 1 ball, 1 strike. You know, the other thing we were talking about scouts, and I mean, go back to Gene Bennett or all the other great scouts that we've had over the years. Anybody can watch a game and tell you what somebody can't do. The best scouts, and I think Gene was one of the best at this, could tell you what a player could do as you project ahead, whether it's drafting Don Gullett as a teenager, you know, whether it's a Chris Sabo or a Paul O'Neill or a Barry Larkin. What are they going to be? The best scouts can tell you where they're going to end up some point in their career if we all do the right things in terms of development.
Well, it's important for scouts who scout your own players in an organization to be very honest about that, because that's where usually the biggest discrepancy is between what you think of your own guys and what other teams think of your guys.
That's a bouncer to the right side. It'll go through. Bourne will be on with a base hit. So after 2 outs, a single and a base hit. 2 on, 2 out, and back to the hottest hitter in the Indians lineup, Jason Kipnis.
I'll tell you, the bottom part of this order, you know, you come into the ball game and you just look at the stat sheet and you think, well, you know, these guys, they've got a few outs bunched together down there at the bottom of the order where they've done all the damage.
They've been on base 6 of 9 plate appearances.
3 of the 5 runs that have been scored by the lower 4 guys in the order. Bourne has been on 3 times, couple of knocks.
So here's Kipnis, and if you turn over the lineup, go to the top of the order, that's where most of the damage has come other than Moss. Kipnis singled in the first, singled in a run in the second, and then walked in the fourth. Baden hopped to the stretch, bounced high in the air. Barnhart has it, and they'll get the out at first. And did he step on Joey's foot? They both ended up the worst of that. Tripping over the bag is Kipnis. He's slow to get up, and Votto limps to the dugout. We'll check that out when we return. Still 5-2 Cleveland. innings, 7 hits, 5 runs allowed. And let's take another look at Kipnis clipping the foot of Joey Votto's left foot, which is on top of the bag. Chris, he hits it with his left foot. They both ended up the worse for wear on that one.
Well, hopefully they're both all right. I think they're going to be. Maybe a little bit of a little stinger pain right there for Votto. But I mean, he had his foot on the bag. It was kind of odd also because he had his foot on the back side of the bag rather than the front side of the bag. You hardly ever see a first baseman with his foot there. But no problem. Looks like he got to the plate all right.
As a first baseman with the throw coming from the catcher, you got to clear the bag. And after he did, trying to reach for the throw, he had a stab at the bag. It ended up on top of the bag, and they both chatted as they went to the dugout. Both appear to be okay. Joey, who was at the plate when Cozart was out trying to steal, will lead it off here in the 6th. The Reds looking to get something going against Carrasco. Now is approaching 100 pitches at 95. He's allowed the Reds 2 runs on 4 hits. The Reds for the runs came in the 2nd. A 1-out walk, a double, and then a ground out produced 1 run. Billy Hamilton got the run home with a RBI. And then a double by Frazier.
Well, ever since Joey Votto nearly took the cap off of Carlos Carrasco, he's been fed a steady diet of off-speed stuff. I mean, that fastball came back at him about 10 miles an hour faster than he cut it loose. And he's taking no chances.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Votto. Count evens up at 2-2. And now there's action in the bullpen as Carrasco approaches that 100 pitch mark. Lefty and a righty just getting up and starting to loosen for the Indians. Off his front foot this time, and the right foot off Joey's right foot as he fouls it off. So he's got them both barking right now.
Votto doesn't do that very often.
Right at the top of the arch. Loop down the left field line, curving. It'll be in the seats.
Carrasco, even given a 5-run support tonight, is still nibbling around. And as you said, getting right up around that 100 pitch mark. He's got 8 starts coming in tonight. Only 2 of those quality starts, which is 6 runs, 3 runs, or 6 innings, 3 runs or less. He gets through this inning, and it would qualify as that. Now, Votto did the same thing his first time up. A couple of guys, lefty, righty, McAllister and Hagedorn.
McAllister's been outstanding out of the bullpen. The big righty, a former starter, and Hagedorn, the left-handed specialist. Choking up a little is Joey. 2-2. And we'll go full 3-2.
Okay, not only does Carrasco throw a lot of pitches, he works slow too.
The double dip. One of your favorites. 3-2. That's a call, strike 3.
Now they finally threw a fastball, the first fastball Votto's seen since the first inning, when he lined it back up the middle, right at the lower end of the strike zone in the outside corner. Our flamethrower brought to you by Cholula Hot Sauce. And we said Carrasco's up around 93, 94 all night long. That one at 93, perfectly placed.
5 strikeouts for Carrasco, and here's Frazier. Frazier doubled in the Reds' second run back in the 3rd inning. 1 for 2, fly ball out his first time up. This game 1 of the 3-game series. Tomorrow it'll be Anthony DeSclafani going against Corey Kluber. Kluber only 1-5 on the year, but his last 2 starts have been spectacular. It looks like he's back on the beam, last year's Cy Young Award winner. Then on Sunday, Johnny Cueto will go against Trevor Bauer, who's pitched a couple of beauties back to back as well. So Kluber and Bauer, the 2 best that the Indians have to offer, go against the Reds the next 2 days. Saturday's game, 4:10 start, will be on the air with Reds Live at 3:30, and Sunday's game, a 1:10 start, will be on the air at 12:30. And back-to-back strikeouts. That's now 6 for Carrasco.
And this inning, he's thrown 2 of the better fastballs he's come up with all night long to get strikeout pitches.
He saved his best giddy up for the 6th. You almost figure that he knows this is his last inning. Here's Bird, bounced out, flied out, 0 for 2. .44 pitches the first 2 innings when the Reds had multiple chances to score, but only plated 1 run in those first 2 innings. That's a strike. 0-2. The Reds' discussion with home plate umpire Manny Gonzalez continues. He's basically telling him you better shut up or else.
Well, there's a little bit of frustration building up on the guys wearing gray. And sometimes the umpires are just at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Setting up, down, and away. That's foul.
I mean, you get beat up at home by the Giants. You get on the road on a road trip, and you just are not in either of the games really that you play in Kansas City. It's cold, it's wet. You come in here, and you're hoping you do better, and you're not doing very well at all.
How about Carrasco? 5, 6, and 7 strikeouts for him here in the 6th inning. Indians still lead 5-2.
under the renovations, they moved the bullpens. They are stacked side by side, which means no more of these. It's our Miller time moment. Let's take you back to last year. Out of the Reds bullpen with Jumbo Diaz warming up off the glove of bullpen catcher, then bullpen catcher Nielsen Antigua. 2 balls on the field, and the Reds end up getting the runner out at third base because of the confusion. Now, after that, many said that Nielsen Antigua, if you don't give him a save, perhaps a hold in that game. That was a big play in that game, and it certainly aided the Reds. And that was brought to you by Miller Lite.
That was a night to remember, wasn't it, JD?
It
that
really
was.
Hey, the only bullpen catcher in history with a positive WAR.
He'll have that on his tombstone, right? There are the new bullpens now out in right center field, back to back, similar to what you have in Pittsburgh. JD, by the way, congratulations. I know down in the clubhouse before the game, Paul Lessard, the Reds head trainer, was talking about the great weekend he had last weekend. His daughter graduated from Fairfield University. And you got a graduation coming up this weekend, too.
I do tomorrow. My stepson, Dante, will be graduating with honors from Westerville South High School. And I will be missing the game tomorrow. We'll spend a day with the family. So thank you for that, George.
That's a good place to be, isn't it?
Well, no doubt about it. It's my first one.
Well, so, congratulations, Jim. Now,
thank you very much.
How much?
Dig in for tuition now.
One hopper off the bat of Santana. He's retired. One away to Phillips. Now, how much of the homework did you help with?
Oh, he's in honors programs. I mean, he's already taken college courses. So very, very, very little, unless there was a sports question that came up, which was not often.
There's Paul Lessard. Congratulations to him, because you've been there. I mean, the girls and the boys. By the way, how's Mac doing this summer?
Doing well. He's going to play a little summer baseball and take a full course load down at University of Louisville. So school never stops.
And the college tuition bills never stop either, do they?
It seems like that.
It's funny. Before they go, you're thinking, how are we going to do it? There's a bouncer down to first. Votto taps the bag. And there's your second out as Brantley's retired. About the one thing the Reds have done well on this day is retire Brantley 3 of the 4 times he walked his other time up. But before they go to college, you wonder, how are we going to do it? When they're in college, you're wondering, how are we doing it? And when they get out, you finally say, how did we do it?
Goes quick, though.
Yeah, it does. When you're driving them to T-ball games and practices and concerts, you're thinking you're shuttle service, and pretty soon they're gone in college, and you miss it, don't you?
Well, you are a shuttle service.
Yep.
Then you become a finance company.
That's what parenthood is all about.
Yep.
Here's Moss. He's had a big bat tonight. A leadoff homer in the third gave the Indians their first lead that they've held 3-2, and then a double plated 2 more to make it 5-2 in the fourth. Baden Hopp in relief of Mike Leake. Leake went 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs. Baden Hopp came in the 5th, allowed a walk and a hit, but no runs allowed, and he's got 2 outs here in the 6th. A rocket, that's foul.
Well, of course, Burke born in Perrysburg and went to Bowling Green State University, but not too far from here, really. So you had to figure that he was able to get together yesterday with family and friends, enjoy a day off, a rare day off that the Reds have on the road. Although I say rare, they had a 2 days off this week. Monday, then again Thursday, and the oddity of the schedule. And then they go a long ways now before getting another day off.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Moss. Doesn't get the call. We'll go full 3-2. Perrysburg, that's Jim Leland country.
It sure is.
One of the best baseball guys we came across, huh?
Rich Donnelly too, right? Isn't he from that area?
Near there.
Former third base coach right here in Cleveland. Same thing happened to Badenhop last inning. Retired the first two, no problem, and then ended up walking the third batter he faced. Gave up a base hit to Bourne and was able to work out of that jam.
Rich Donnelly had the best description I've ever heard of a third base coach. He says, we're like the air traffic controller. The only time they hear about us is when the plane goes down. Yeah. It's only when things go bad.
I've stolen that line a few times.
Yeah. Here's Murphy. Singled to lead off the second. Singled in the third. And flied out his last time up. And now 2-0, and Tucker will go out and talk to his big right-hander. Similar story to last inning, huh?
Well, Moss and Murphy have been really clutch for the Indians and bad for the Reds. Each of them have 2 hits. Moss is a home run and a double, and he's also walked. And I got to figure on a 2-0 pitch right here. He's looking for something elevated enough that he can hit, and he got it up there in the zone, but out of the zone. Badenhop is a guy that has to live right down there, exactly at the hollows at the knees and below.
Back-to-back free passes again. 2 out, 2 on now. And here's Chisenhall 0 for 3.
Well, this is like a root canal tonight.
Ooh. Especially if you're the pitching coach or the manager.
Well, you know, the manager, who used to be the pitching coach, would have to be the guy that would go to the mound. Now we can just look to Jeff Pico and say, get out there and tell him to throw strikes. Throw him that Babe Ruth baseball card you got with the day that he died on it. We realize that he's not around anymore.
So Jeff Pico's delivered his sermon, and back to Chisenhall, who bounced out, bounced into a force, and bounced to second. Two on, 2 out. Badenhop from the stretch.
I mean, the Reds have walked 8 batters, and they have struck out none.
That's low, and it's 2-0. In the 5th. 2 quick outs, and there's Jumbo Diaz up and loosening.
Well, Diaz is normally the bridge to Aroldis Chapman. I think that Brian Price is figuring we can't give them any more runs right here.
Cozart, right place, flips to Phillips, and that'll do it. 2 walks, 2 stranded, 10 left on base for the Indians. They lead 5-2. Cleveland. Early on, the Reds got a run batted in for Billy Hamilton, and then the game is tied after this double from Todd Frazier that tied it at 2 in the 3rd inning. And after the game was tied at 2, it's time for Brandon Moss to take charge. Leading off the 3rd, he rips his 7th homer of the year to make it 3-2 Cleveland. And then a double in the 4th by Moss makes it 5-2, and that's where we stand right now. 5 runs for the Indians as they chase Mike Leake. Leake winds up going 4 innings, 7 hits, and 5 runs allowed. While all that was going on, Carlos Carrasco, who exits the game here in the 7th inning, in 6 innings allowed 4 hits, 2 runs, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks, 110 pitches for Carrasco. Here's Nick Hagedorn.
Hagedorn, a former #1 draft pick by the Red Sox. Like Brandon Moss, really, but he ended up being traded over here in a deal that sent Victor Martinez back the other way to Boston.
From the stretch is Hagedorn facing Pena, who walked and struck out 0 for 1.
Now 29 years old. Gives up a lot of hits. He's pitched 12 innings, given up 17 hits. But he strikes out a lot. He has 15 punch outs. Straight over the top. The Reds saw a lot of him in spring training. Over the years especially. They bring in the lefty here to turn Brian Pena around. Right-handed is his natural side, but he doesn't get to hit that much right-handed very often. And, of course, left-handed Jay Bruce next.
Missing down and away, 2-1. Line shot right to the second baseman Kipnis, 1 away. And that'll bring up Bruce, a double and a walk for Jay tonight.
Number 32, Jay Bruce.
There's the reliable right-hander McAllister. This is a bullpen for the Indians. It's been pretty solid. They've been in the middle of the pack most of the first quarter of the year. They're 7th in the league coming in with an ERA of just over 3. The Reds, on the other hand, of course, you know the story. They're last in the National League in bullpen earned run average.
That's probably one of the worst ways to judge a bullpen is by earned run average. They just give you a small sample size because the innings pitched aren't there to really even it out.
And in some cases, in the Reds' case, this year, that's the good news.
Well, you're right. Maybe a better way to judge a bullpen is how often do you keep the lead once you get the lead, and how often do you keep a close game rather than turning a close game into a blowout. Reds have been blown out 9 times. They've won by blowout scores only 5 times. And the bullpen's had something to do with that. If you're a bullpenner, there's a looping line drive into right. That's a base hit. So Jay has a multi-hit game. 2 for 2 and a walk, a base hit to right. And don't forget, you can cheer on the Reds Saturday, May 30th, when they take on the Washington Nationals at Great American Ballpark as part of Super Saturdays. The first 25,000 fans in attendance will receive a Billy Hamilton bobblehead presented by Cincinnati Bell. For tickets, call 513-381-REDS. Visit select Kroger locations or reds.com/tickets. That's Saturday, May the 30th. I guess, Chris, the biggest stat that bullpenners live by is inherited runners. If you're in the bullpen, that's your red badge of courage right there. Well, it's where you pick up your teammates, and it's normally another bullpenner that you're picking up. Sometimes you come in relief with the starter, and he leaves some runners on, and you either save him or you gas him in. But oftentimes you come in as another bullpenner, a guy you have to sit down next to the next night. Gives you a little extra incentive. Short lead for Bruce. He was out trying to steal earlier tonight. The Reds have had 2 base runners tossed out. Hamilton at the plate is 0 for 2. His ground ball with
2 runners on at second and third in the second. Plated the Reds' first run for his 9th run batted into the season.
You know, you can see Brian Price trying to work it, changing the lineup around, putting runners in motion. I mean, but if you don't have guys putting the bat on the ball, all of those are in vain.
Kipnis will haul it in. There's your second out of the inning. You know, and as the best managers we've been around tell you, there are no geniuses that are managers. The players make managers' moves work or don't work. You know, you move a lineup around, and if it works, you're a genius. If it doesn't work, it's your fault. You replace a reliever. If it works, you're a genius. If it doesn't work, it's your fault. That's the nature of being a manager in this game.
Well, I think the other part of it is taking some of the heat off your players. So when you're going through a bad streak, the manager's got to be the guy that laughs more, smiles more, and says it's my fault. Come to me when you've got, you know, some issues. And it's hard to do that when you're a young manager. You know, when your ball club is not exceeding expectations or coming anywhere close to expectations, things begin to get tight.
Good players make good managers in many cases.
They do. Hey, Agudelo looks better against right-handers than he does against left-handers to me. Straight over the top. He got ahead of Jay Bruce 0-2 on 2 fastballs and then threw a breaking ball chest high that he got a base hit on.
And he's 0-2 to Barnhart. Tucker tonight bounced to second and struck out 0 for 2. Brandon Phillips on deck. A double for his night of work. And scored on a double by Frazier. Looks like he turns that changeup over against right-handers too. 2-2. Hop back and out of play. This Indians bullpen anchored at the end of it by Cody Allen, who's blown 1 save this year. That's sliced into center. Bourne is there. He'll put it in his pocket, and the Reds get a base hit from Bruce, but nothing to show for it. Going to the bottom of 7. Ramirez due up. Atlanta. They're just about at halftime, and the Cavs lead by 5. But this is the watch party that's going on, Chris. All our friends at Fox Sports Ohio in the northern part of the state having a great time over there. And don't forget, you can watch all the Cavs pre and post game right here on Fox Sports Ohio. So pretty good active night in the downtown area. Again, we're looking at, this looks like a crowd over 20,000 here tonight. They've only been averaging about 15,000 a night. They've been near the bottom of the league in attendance. Last year they only drew 1.4 million. It's only the second time since they moved into this park they were under 1.5 million. Compare that to the Reds, who average about 30,000 a game this year. But right now the Indians on the smiling side of the scoreboard, and the turnstiles as well. 5 runs, 8 hits, and an error for Cleveland. 2-5-0 for Cincinnati, and Jumbo Diaz becomes the third pitcher. Leak, Badenhop, now Jumbo. Badenhop went 2 innings, allowed 3 walks and a base hit, but no runs. Official attendance in 23,617 here at Progressive Field tonight. It's a pretty good crowd. And really, Chris, this series should be a weekend series, both in Cincinnati and in Cleveland, so that, Reds fans or Indians fans can travel. Bounce it down to second. Phillips has it. Jose Ramirez is retired, 1 away.
Jumbo getting a little tune-up work. He's not pitched at all since Sunday. That was the last game against the Giants. So he missed obviously the 2 days in Kansas City, the only games the Reds have played. You want to keep him sharp when the Reds get the lead. You want to give it to Jumbo to get a Aroldis Chapman.
There's Roberto Perez, walk, flied out and walk. Mike Leake's troubles really tied a lot to his free passes. 5 walks in 4 innings. He allowed 7 hits and 5 runs. He just didn't look right from the get-go tonight, Chris.
He really didn't. And it's hard to tell just by watching TV if he's doing something different. It's almost, nowadays you have the ability to go side by side. I'm sure Jeff Pico's looked at it, and probably even Brian Price, to figure out what he may be doing, if anything, mechanically wrong. But very unlike Leake to walk 5. It's often you'll see a game where he may not strike very many batters out. He's not a high strikeout guy, but those guys who don't strike out a lot normally throw strikes, and Leake normally does. So that's just something else for Brian Price to worry about.
That's Mike Leake's attack mode, is strike 1.
Well, the bottom of the rotation hasn't been very good. And now the top of the rotation, Cueto's been good his last couple times out. He hasn't been stellar, but he's been good enough to keep the team in the game. But now the last 2 times through the rotation for Leake have not been well pitched games.
And as you look ahead, we told you about tomorrow, Anthony DeSclafani against Corey Kluber. Sunday, Johnny Cueto against Trevor Bauer. And then Monday against Colorado, Jason Marquis scheduled to go against Eddie Butler. There's a fly ball into right. Long run, Bruce. He can't get it. It's going to roll all the way into the corner. Perez round second, going to third. And Roberto Perez will have a triple. His first triple of the season. He's in scoring position with 1 out.
Hey, you still got to like the effort by Jay Bruce. A little hanging breaking ball right there. Perez gets it kind of on the end of the bat, and he almost makes his catch.
Went a long way for that effort. Rolled into the corner, and Perez goes to third. That'll force the Reds to bring the infield in with 1 out, runner at third, and here's the center fielder Bourne. That's looping into left. Here comes Bird. Perez will slam on the brakes, and it's cut by the third baseman Frazier.
The advantage of having a catcher running at third base.
Amen.
The other part of that is he's probably still winded from running in the triple. This comes on the first pitch that Bourne hits up there. It's a line drive. He's got to rush back to the bag real quick. You think, man, My quads are already hurting.
Looked like Mike Sauber was about ready to tackle him if he went any further. He's still blowing a little there, huh? So 2 away now. The Reds can bring the infield back to Kipnis, top of the order. He's 2 for 3 and a walk.
Boy, nice block by Tucker Barnhart there. That ball could have easily gotten away from him. That was either a slider or a splitter down in the dirt. Splitter.
Great smother job. Jumbo to the stretch. That's a strike. One and two. Pass Diaz into center. That'll get another run in. Just past the glove of Jumbo Diaz. It's the 3rd hit of the night, and Kipnis continues his remarkable month of May. 3 more hits. He's hit over 400 during the month, and the Indians lead at 6-2.
Well, that's the 2nd time he's grounded it up the middle. He's hit a flare in the center field for a base hit. It's not exactly like he's knocking the fences down, but it's like I said before, when you're going good, this is the kind of base hit you're getting. That's why it's always dangerous to pitch against hitters that are on a roll. They're going to outluck you.
Think lucky. So Kipnis is on. Perez scores, and here's Santana. 0 for 4. Hit the ball hard twice. Once to Votto, and Joey turned that into a 3-6 double play. Then a dribbler that Votto turned into a force at the plate. Then he lined to right and bounced to second. They overshift with Frazier in the shortstop spot. Cozart to the second base side of the second base bag with Santana at the plate. Pitch out, nothing going. So now it's 1-1. If you're Terry Francona, do you send the runner this time? Not going. 2-1. This one hit pretty good to right. Bruce going over, looking up. It's off the wall. Kipnis scampers around third. He's coming to the plate, and he'll be safe for the 7th run of the night for the Indians. A triple, a single, and a double. Santana gets his 22nd run batted in. Kipnis scores, and it's 7-2.
Now the Indians have put together a little modest winning streak, but they've changed the momentum. They won the last couple of games they played against the White Sox, and it's been a disappointing start through the early part of the season, really, for both of these ball clubs. But right now, one of them seems to be breaking out of it in a big way, and they continue tonight, 7-2.
And with all that's going on, the 7 runs and the 11 hits, the one guy that has not chimed in thus far is Brantley. 0 for 3 and a walk. 3 ground balls to the infield. That's up high and it's 1-1. Phillips takes care of that, and that'll do it. Now, the good news is they've handled Michael Brantley tonight. The bad news is 11 hits have translated into 7 runs. Indians lead at 7-2. Rally caps on, and hopefully it'll be a smiling scoreboard you'll be talking about if the Reds can rally here in their final 2 at bats. We go to the top of inning number 8. Back to the top of the order, and Brandon Phillips, who joined us late. Brian Price changed his batting order tonight, putting Phillips at the top of it, and he's going to face the 3rd pitcher of the night for the Indians. Here's Zach McAllister, who's had a good season so far, Chris.
Well, the later you get into a ball game, the harder it is usually to mount a rally, because that's when you're seeing pitchers that are on top of their game. McAllister's already been used as a starter earlier this year. Big burly guy with a pretty good fastball.
He's probably been the most reliable middle inning bullpenner that they've had this season. Dribbled down to third. Quick flip by Chisenhall, and they'll get Phillips by a step. Nice play by Lonnie Chisenhall. Phillips retired. Brandon a double back in the 3rd, and he scored on a double by Frazier. And here comes Cozart. Zach bounced out, struck out, reached on an error, then was out trying to steal second. When the Reds played the Indians back in spring training, McAllister was one of those that was on the bubble for that last starting spot. Indians, similar to what the Reds had during that period, they auditioned 2 or 3 players for that 5th starting spot. He did start one game early in April.
Well, McAllister was originally drafted and signed by the New York Yankees. Gets a strikeout there. And he was a player to be named later in a deal that sent from Cleveland to New York Austin Kearns. So there's your Reds connection.
26 strikeout of the season. One of the top bullpen strikeout artists in the American League so far this year. Here's Joey. Struck out twice on this night. Bounced out, reached, singled his first time up, struck out twice, so he's 1 for 3. Well, during this 5-game skid that the Reds have been in the middle of, I mean, they've faced outstanding pitching, yes, and counting tonight, they've been outscored 47-15. So the offense has been hard to come by, and Joey's got a word or two for the home plate umpire, Manny Gonzalez. Reds continue to trail. It's a 7-2 count as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Last look at the strikeout of Votto. Scoreboard story of this one, leading at 7-2, and our steel power tool performer of the night is Brandon Moss, who will lead it off. Moss in the 3rd, a homer to make it 3-2. This came off Mike Leake for Moss, his 7th homer and 25th run batted into the season. Then in the 4th inning, he slammed a double to right field to make it 5-2, and the Indians haven't been headed since then. 2 for 3, solo homer, double walk, 3 runs batted in. Our steel power tool performer is Brandon Moss. And he leads it off as we go to the 8th inning against the 4th pitcher of the night. Mike Leake started 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs. Bert Badenhop went 2 innings, allowed a hit and no runs. Jumbo Diaz came in to pitch the 7th, allowed a single, double, and triple and 2 runs. And here is the big right-hander, J.J. Hoover.
J.J. Hoover getting a little tune-up work as well. This has been one of those games where it's the Reds are just going out there to try to give some guys some work. Moss has really been, it's a really interesting story for Brandon Moss, a high round draft pick by the Red Sox. He gets traded to the Pirates, and it didn't work out there at all. He lost his right field job to Garrett Jones and then to Delwyn Young when he was there. He gets designated for assignment the following year in spring training. The Phillies pick him up, plays a little bit in the minor leagues, gets called up in September, doesn't do much there for the Phillies, and then he becomes a free agent. And that's when the Oakland A's signed him to a minor league contract. And he was playing in AAA for the Oakland A's in the beginning of the year in 2011. And he's thinking to himself, I'm going to quit. I'm going home. I'm going to be a fireman. That's what he wanted to do. He's from Georgia. He wanted to return home and do exactly that. 9 days before he would have the date where he could opt out of his contract, they called him to the major leagues. And he caught fire. He started hitting home runs. He started getting on base. He rejuvenated his career. And here he is, a big part of this Indians lineup offensively, really one of their big guns.
And there was a period of time, Chris, when a lot of people were giving up on him. And
Sure.
one that didn't is our friend Sean Casey, who was a teammate of his in Boston and got to know him well. And when Casey joined us to do a game in Pittsburgh, when Brandon was playing for the Pirates, he took him aside, spent some time with him, and tried to talk him into not giving up, to fight through it, that you are a major leaguer, you will be a good major leaguer. And it finally did click for him.
Now, he went from not playing really in the big leagues at all in 2011 to hitting 21 home runs in 2012 for the A's, and then hitting 30 the next year. And he's off to a terrific start here. Not batting average wise. I mean, he's never been a high batting average guy, but he provides you some punch.
Terry Francona on the left, his bench coach Brad Mills on the right.
Good pitch right there by J.J. Hoover. You come right in there and take the power away.
Boy, we talk about some of the struggles the Reds bullpenners have had. This is one guy who, after his troubles of last year, J.J. has really been big time. He hasn't given up a run since the 21st of April. And Chris, you talk about confidence and getting it back. He took it by the horns and got it back.
Yeah, you take that one game away where he pitched a third of an inning and gave up 4 earned runs. That was the grand slam night in Milwaukee when there were 3 grand slams hit and he gave up one of them. You take that away and his earned run average is less than 1.
Long fly ball. Did he get it? Billy Hamilton hauls it in. A diving catch at the warning track. Hamilton saved 2, maybe 3 with that catch. Long run for Billy. He went to the right field wall to pick one off the wall. And here he goes to the left field warning track to rob extra bases from Murphy. Talk about a long distance run. That's what Billy gave you with that catch. Shaded towards right center. He had a long way to go to get there. Over the years, as they've reconfigured this stadium with the different changes around it, used to be there was dirt and gravel around the behind home plate area. Now there's a tartan service there, but the warning track still that dirt and gravel. So when you grind yourself into that, you come up with a right at the end of the foul line is where it ends, both on the left field and right field foul lines. There's that one tricky area in each corner where it's a combination of both. That's an area that outfielders hate. Swing and a miss. And how about Hoover? JJ takes care of business. Zip, zip, zip. A 1-2-3 inning. It's the first time the Reds have come up with a 1-2-3 tonight. Part of Family Sundays. Kids 14 and younger receive a team baseball card set presented by Cons. Plus, make sure you take advantage of special family ticket offers. For tickets, call 513-381-REDS. Visit select Kroger locations or reds.com/family. Family kind of night here at Progressive Field. Good crowd on hand. 23,617 so far watching the Indians. 7 runs, 11 hits, and 1 error. They've left 11 on base, and the Reds struggling with offense. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and 4 left on base. For the Indians, Carlos Carrasco started. 110 pitches in 6 innings, allowed only 4 hits and 2 runs, and struck out 7, walked only 2. Hagedorn, McAllister, and here's Scott Atchison, Chris.
Well, no reason for a save situation. It's kind of the same thing that Brian Price is going through, except he's at the bottom of the scoreboard. Terry Francona trying to get his guys a little bit of work. They've got to feel pretty good about this series now. Having won tonight, Carrasco, as inconsistent as he has been this year, he gives the Indians a very good start. 6 innings of 2-run baseball. And now he's got his main man, Corey Kluber, on the mound tomorrow. They know what is ahead of them on Sunday when they have to face Johnny Cueto.
Indians came into tonight only 6-12 at home, but 11-11 on the road. They figure that their home record will improve as the season goes on, and it gives them reason to believe that they can hang in there in the Central Division chase in the American League. I mean, of course, their problem over the last couple of years, they haven't been able to beat the Tigers, just as the Reds have had trouble beating the Cardinals the last couple of years. The last 2 years, the Indians were 4-15 against Detroit 2 years ago and 8-11 against the Tigers last year. That's a looping liner into right, a base hit for Frazier. So Todd, who doubled in the Reds' tying run back in the 3rd to tie it at 2, has his second hit. He's 2 for 4, a leadoff single here in the 9th.
They were shading him around the pole a little bit. Todd has pulled the ball a lot, even pitches on the outer part of the plate. Gets that bat out there and hooks it. That time he hit that with authority into right center field.
So leadoff hitter on, and here's Bird. Marlin tonight 0 for 3, a bounce out, a fly ball out, and a strikeout. Only the second time tonight the Reds have gotten the leadoff batter on. In the 3rd, Phillips led off the inning with a double, and he scored on the Frazier double. This one popped up by Bird to the right side, short right field. Moss has it, 1 away. Don't forget, tomorrow it'll be Anthony DeSclafani against Corey Kluber, and then on Sunday Johnny Cueto against Trevor Bauer. Tomorrow's game is one of those 4 o'clock start games, so we'll be on the air with the Reds live at 3:30.
Make sure you tell Jesse Jackson that before you leave tonight.
He'll just about be coming in about that time, won't he?
Is there that much to do in Cleveland?
He's Mr. Mayor wherever he goes. No one's looking forward to the All-Star game more than Jesse. He knows more people in baseball than anybody, and they're
He's
all
got a trunk sale.
That's right. Liner caught by the shortstop Ramirez off the bat of Pena, and back to first goes Frazier. So the Reds down to their final out here in the 9th. The ancient one, 39-year-old Scott Atchison, 1 out away from closing this out as Bruce steps to the plate. Jay has been one of the bright spots for the Reds tonight. He doubled back in the 2nd to put runners at 2nd and 3rd, and then Billy Hamilton grounded out to plate the first run for the Reds. He walked in the 4th, was out trying to steal, and then in the 7th he singled. Santana will play behind Frazier down at first. Frazier will probably take off, take second base. He will. No stolen base. Defensive indifference. So at least no force in place now at second. We've had some strange endings in these interleague games. Remember that 9-run comeback? The Reds came back to beat the Indians. Never over till it's over, as Yogi once said. Bounce to the right side. Billy Hatcher snares it. Gives it to a fan behind the Reds dugout. One ball, 2 strikes. Two. Frazier off second. 2-2 to Bruce in the dirt. Kicks away. Frazier's going to try for third, and we'll get there easily.
Wild pitch.
Here's the 3-2 to Jay. That's a bouncer to the right side, but foul. Another perfect pick by the Hatchman. Still got the hands, doesn't he?
He hadn't been busy enough down there for me, or for him.
Or is Jim Riggleman at third, even more so. Try it again, 3-2. That kicks away. Frazier's coming to the plate. The throw will not be in time, and Frazier will score. Down to first will go Bruce. And it's a 7-3 game.
Well, you'll take those runs any way you get them, even if it means a base hit, indifference a couple of times, and then a wild pitch, or maybe that's a pass ball.
That looks like it hit dirt. Should have been blocked in any event.
You talking about the ball or Atchison?
That's a bouncer behind second. Ramirez has it, and they'll get Hamilton. And that'll do it. So the Indians take game 1 of this interleague series. Brandon Moss brought out the heavy artillery with a homer and a double. 3 runs batted in, and the Indians win it with 7 runs, 11 hits, and 11 left. The Reds pick up a run in the 9th, and the final is 7-3 here in Cleveland. We'll be back with more after these messages on Fox Sports Ohio.